All right, we're talking about fruit flies today. Something that are a nuisance for all of us, and we always want to get rid of them. And we're gonna dive in because there's professional traps and there's homemade traps. We're gonna see what the differences are and which ones work the best. Let's start off by talking about the homemade fruit fly traps. We'll start with the most basic one, where you get a piece of over-ripened fruit, get some plastic wrap, put it in a bowl, and cover it up completely so that all the sides are completely sealed so flies cannot get out. Once that's tight, you then get pencil, knife, toothpick, anything to poke a bunch of holes in as little entry points so that when the flies fly in to get at the fruit, they get trapped and cannot get out. Usually you have that stuff at home, very quick, very easy to do. The second style is where we're using apple cider vinegar as bait, putting it into something like a glass or a jar, using the plastic wrap to seal all along the top the same way that we did the bowl, nice and tight so that nothing can escape. Poking holes into the top to allow the fruit flies to get in and not get out. So both of these work by having the fruit flies be enticed by the bait. This case is ripe fruit. This is apple cider vinegar. Very strong odor. We find it has a little bit better of an attractant, so it draws them in from further. They travel into these holes, and then because they're flying, their wings are too wide, they cannot get out. Picture it as like a one-way door mechanism. You generally have this at home, continues to work, easy to place, easy to replace, very good to go. Let's jump in and talk about the professional style traps. These are traps that you can purchase online or you can purchase from a supplier if you're a licensed pest control technician. As you can see, they come with pre-built receptacles and entry points that are already built. So let's take a look at this one. You grab it, you peel the top off, and you can see it's got a hole for the flies to fly in and get trapped, and it's already got some bait in the bottom there. And it does smell very similar to an apple cider vinegar. We have this other style of trap where it comes with the receptacle and the bait separate. You lift the top off. You can see that there's holes inside that allow the fruit flies to get in and not fly out from. You then take your bait, spray it into the bottom. And a nice little feature they have with this one is that you can see on the side, you can see the level to make sure there's bait in there. You can also see the flies that you're catching. Once the bait's in, you put the top on and you have this nice apple looking trap that you can place by your fruit. Now let's go over and see what are the differences and are they actually better than a homemade trap. Now that we've seen how to make and use homemade fruit fly traps and how to use professional fruit fly traps, let's do a quick overview and comparison of them side by side. Advantage of a homemade fruit fly trap is if you have an issue and you're looking to deal with it right away, chances are you have plastic wrap, apple cider vinegar, or some rotting fruit at home that's very quick so you can get it set right away and start to catch those flies. Advantage of using something that is a professional trap is ease of use, smaller receptacles, and visually they can be a little bit more appealing having a small little box like this or a little apple opposed to a large glass or a large bowl full of rotting fruit. Now let's just talk about what really matters is effectiveness. I think both traps will work very well. Fruit flies love rotting fruit and they especially love apple cider vinegar. These traps here have the pre-bait in there that they say works very well. It will capture flies too. I'd like to take a minute here to talk about some anecdotal evidence that I found working in a commercial kitchen where they had a lot of these fruit fly traps set up just like this that were catching a ton of fruit flies. We came in and we started using these professional traps with the bait. What we noticed was there were actually more fruit flies trapped in the homemade apple cider vinegar trap in a cup than we caught in this apple here. What we tried was using apple cider vinegar in this apple, and lo and behold, when we followed up, it was about the same number of flies caught in each. So the recommendation that I would give is getting a professional trap like this that is easy to use, you can leave it out and it looks nice, but using apple cider vinegar as the bait. It kind of gives you best of both worlds. Again, easy receptacle that's there, very easy to use. And then anytime that you want to use it, you have a ton of apple cider vinegar that you have at home that you can just top it up with. Let's do a recap of what we went over today. We went over homemade traps using a bowl with some overripened or rotting fruit as bait, using a glass or a jar with holes in the top with plastic wrap using apple cider vinegar as the bait, using a pre-baited fruit fly trap in a receptacle, and then using the apple style reusable fruit fly trap that looks like an apple that comes with its own bait as well. Overall, anything that you do is going to help reduce the fruit fly populations. As we mentioned, my opinion is using something that is small, easy to use, refillable, and looks nice is the way to go. And using the apple cider vinegar that personally we've had the most luck with catching fruit flies with as bait in here, opposed to the bait that they provide to you with it. If you liked our content, we have lots more on fruit flies. Check out our other videos.